It's not the cars, it's the buildings. We work in them, play in them, live in them. But they also account for 45% of all greenhouse gas emissions. Now, a new green generation of scientists, architects, and engineers are radically rethinking how we build. And what they're coming up with will change your life.
Imagine flying over the city and seeing prairies instead of black rooftops.
From a smart building that actually responds and adjusts to your body, to a house powered by hydrogen gas made from tap water.
This is the ultimate energy system.
And air conditioning that runs entirely off the sun. Here are amazing building technologies which will transform the way we live. Each year, the average American home emits about 23,000 pounds of carbon dioxide and spends over $1,500 in utility bills. And that's not very good for you or me. But this home emits no carbon gases and will never have a gas or electric bill, which is why it's been called the most revolutionary house in America. And like the sun, it's powered by hydrogen.
Here, I want to show you something. Hi, my name is Mike Stritsky, and welcome to the nation's first solar hydrogen fuel cell powered home in North America.
Stritsky, a scientist and engineer with years of solar power experience under his belt, may just have the solution to global warming right here in these tanks. Well, kind of.
We're standing right in the middle of my storage area. These tanks hold 19,000 cubic feet of hydrogen, which is the equivalent of 56 gallons of propane or 40 gallons of gasoline. Yet this is enough energy with the solar and geothermal to power my home for an entire year. Cooking gas, heating gas, and fuel for the vehicle.
And where does Mike get all of this hydrogen? He makes it himself from ordinary tap water. But when most people think of hydrogen, they remember this, the Hindenburg.
Popular Science did a study a few years ago on what happened with the Hindenburg. The skin of the airship was coated with aluminum oxide, which is rocket fuel. So what people saw burning as the ship ignited was the aluminum oxide on the skin and the diesel tanks. Any hydrogen that was going to burn or escape went up in 1/10 of a second. What you saw crashing coming down in this event, it wasn't the hydrogen, but apparently that instance has given hydrogen a bad rap.
It's the greatest of miracles that anyone came out of the disaster alive.
The tanks are not dangerous at all. If they were to have a leak, the hydrogen would travel at 45 miles an hour up into the atmosphere.
In truth, hydrogen is non-toxic, doesn't pollute, and is less flammable than gasoline.
This is the heart of the system. The electrolyzer takes water and it runs it through a deionizing process and reverse osmosis, and it feeds that chemically pure water into the electrolyzer. And this device here splits it off into hydrogen and oxygen.
The process is known as electrolysis and uses electricity to separate hydrogen and oxygen atoms from water molecules. And where does Mike get the power for his electrolyzer? The power is for free, courtesy of the sun. The average American home uses about 1,000 kilowatts of power per month, and Mike's photovoltaic cells provide about 1,000 kilowatts. But because Mike's made his house super efficient, that's 60% more power than he needs during the day. The extra electricity is stored by converting it to hydrogen.
This tank here has hydrogen in it.
The hydrogen can be converted back to electricity by putting it through a fuel cell.
You can see here is the individual fuel cell stacks.
Fuel cells are simply electrolysis in reverse, this time bringing hydrogen and oxygen back together to produce electricity.
The simple science to this home is that we're taking sunlight, converting it into electricity. We're storing excess electricity in the form of hydrogen using water. We recombine it again to get the electricity back. We're making water again, and the system is repeatable endless times. So this is a hydrogen vehicle.
What makes Mike's system really incredible is that it's all off-the-shelf technology.
This is the perfect energy system that nothing gets consumed except sunlight. And if we fail to have sunlight, we're all dead.
Mike has even built a hydrogen-powered car for himself. That's right, Mike hand builds hydrogen-powered cars as a hobby.
I'm taking the hydrogen that I generate for my fuel cell that powers my house, and I can fill my car right with the same hydrogen. When I built this car, I designed it that it could be plugged into a house in the event of a power failure, so I can always power my house with my car. How cool is that?
The price tag of Mike Stritzke's system is high, about $500,000. But like any prototype, the cost will come down as more of his systems are built. This backyard hydrogen system is still in the experimental stage, but if it proves to be nearly as efficient as Mike claims, it might just help save the planet, one house at a time. Hydrogen power